This is a story about technical debt, so we already spoke about that. So we had 2 chapters of the book. This is the third one. It's the puppet story. And yeah, it's an interesting story. So who am I? Because it's been a while that I'm not talking in the More IP event. And the Spaniard that is working for AMS-IX for more than 7 years now, and coordinating the AMS-IX systems engineering team, so like orchestra director. I'm an open source enthusiast, and that's one thing, how to pronounce my name, because it's not Miguel. So just try to use a hard G, like in guess or guest, and then you will pronounce perfectly Miguel. That's all, okay? So, thank you. By the way, this is a picture we made in the NetNode event. I tried to also a bit of a snow, nice one. Okay, then technical debt. But why? Why do we have also everything works? Why? Well, because it's a problem. I mean, you don't have support from the vendors. You don't have, probably you have a lot of security issues, and that's a problem, okay, for all of us. So, in our case, we had a Debian 7, so the WYSI one. That one reached the end of life a while ago. Then the problem is that also if the puppet agent is lower than the puppet master, then that works, but the contrary is not true. If puppet agent version is higher compared to the puppet master, that doesn't work. Besides, we had to upgrade our Debian servers also to the latest versions. And then obviously, we need to have more control on our technical debt. I mean, you have to realize, and you probably do, that when you deploy a piece of software, a piece of hardware, whatever, you are already generating technical debt. If you don't have control over that, then that's a problem, okay? So this is actually how looks our former puppet deployment. We had a puppet master. We had several puppet agents. We had, because with these glasses I need to look. So we had our Git server was a Gitolite, so a really old one. And then the locations for overseas, we had obviously a VPN tunnel, and then we were connecting to those locations. So this is quite a simple one. We were looking for new technologies like CI/CD pipelines, using GitLab, and also looking for a high availability infrastructure with Puppet. Which was not the case for the previous one. So we contacted one of the Puppet consultants that we have a really good one in Europe, which is Alessandro Franceschi from Lab 42. And he said, yeah, I mean, challenge accepted. So he's working with us. We started last year in May. This is the new situation that we already deployed. All the credits, by the way, to Puppet Labs, where we have 2 Puppet Masters, and we are using as a Git repository, we're using GitLab. Now, HA obviously is enabled by default. We're using Postgres as a database. Now also with the introduction of GitLab, we change also our methodology. So we create new branches. So pushing to a master branch is forbidden. You cannot. So we create a new branch, we work on that branch, then we push it, and then we have then all the sort of pipelines. So we have several tests for every merge that we perform. We start with our branch to master, then we perform several pack of tests, like checking syntax. We check also, in Puppet terminology, we check also catalog diff. Then we test also, the important part is that we have several servers where we can test our code. And once everything is done, then we can promote to merge. We can merge then to the master branch. Once the master branch is done, then we can also promote to the production one, which is it's easier than in the step. It's pretty straightforward. And then we do also again another pipeline check. So this is something that with GitLab it's really good for us. Some things that we also introduce, it's, as I mentioned, it's Puppet lint, so we can also now check the Puppet syntax. And also, we have all the several models are migrated to the PDK format. So it's a Puppet development kit. And the idea is just to migrate all the Puppet models to this new standard format. So this is actually one of the pipelines that we have. As you can see, it's all the, actually this is one of that works. So was passed, where we can see all the different steps that, that the pipeline performs. In terms of numbers, actually this is a graph that it tells us a lot. You can see that there is a huge peak, and it's when we perform after doing a lot of tests. It was in November when we did the big merge to the master branch. So in terms of numbers, we have normally a daily merge. We have executed a total of 784 pipelines. And then also we have more than 2,000 commits. So it's a lot and a big effort. It's also a work in progress because we also need to migrate also some roles that we still have pending. And yeah, I mean, it's as I said, new models that we are going to implement, etc., etc. And well, that was all. By the way, this talk was about Puppet. This was not about why you are not using Ansible. Well, we use Ansible. For us, has a different business case, Ansible. And because also we are working with Puppet in AMS-IX since 2013. So it's now more or less 10 years. That's all. Any questions? No? Thank you.